Okay. Versatile Vigilante, man. Young Vince, Uncle Vinny. Got a very special episode today. We got Sumit, the CEO of Sandy's Hot Sauce. How are you, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
We got the bottles right here.
Yes, sir.
It's great stuff. We also have some little treats right beside us. So what we're going to do today, little Hot Ones inspired episode. We got Sumit's two flavors of sauces there.
Yep.
Popped them on some wings, and we'll have a little chat.
100%. So cheers to that, man.
Cheers to that. There we go. Taking small bites.
Yeah. This is veggie, by the way, so keeping it healthy.
Fire.
How was that for the first
Fire.
bite? Oh, yeah. Definitely feel the heat coming in.
So before we even start off with the interview, explain your sauces a little bit. What are these flavors?
Definitely. So this first one here, the black one, is mustard hot sauce. This is like the main. This is actually the first one I started. So this is like a little bit more on the milder side. Has a little mustard base to it. So a lot of people like to use it with like marinating chicken or even just like putting a little bit on sandwiches. So I actually ran with that, and a lot of people loved it a lot. But I was getting a lot of feedback saying, it's not hot enough. Especially people who have a acquired taste. So of course, listening to the customers, I decided to create a new product called the Island Heat. So this one specifically is more of a spicy base, so there's not really much mustard into it. So it's real spicy, has a real high kick to it. This is a little bit more of a acquired taste, especially if you like spice a lot. That one's perfect for you. But if you're right in the middle, the best seller, man, is the mustard one. Yeah, so it's pretty good. As we're talking, man, I feel it coming in.
It's a very nice. So I've tried both of these before the show. And definitely the mustard's more mild, but the taste in the hot one is still there, which I fuck with. It's not like a stupid heat.
No.
I feel like there's some sauces where it's just purely meant for hot,
Yeah, I feel like a lot of time people, when they make hot sauce, they just look at the heat, but they don't talk about the flavor. Or they don't,
exactly.
But the mustard one, of course, has a mustard base. There's like garlic in there. There's, salt. There's sugar. So there's a whole array of, flavors in there. So it's really, and it's actually very original to like the Caribbean, taste. So it's made of Scotch bonnet peppers, which is a big staple in the Caribbean cuisine. So it targets that as well. So it's very authentic, very homemade as well. Yeah, I like I said, I did the first one. I got a lot of feedback and a lot of people loved it. So just kept going from there.
Love it, bro. So for the audience, we will be taking bites throughout the show.
Yeah.
But I absolutely want to kind of get to the bottom of Sumit and where his business started with Sandy's Hot Sauce. So first and foremost, bro, what's your culture? You mentioned you touched on Caribbean.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm Guyanese. So I was born in Guyana. I grew up in Canada. But yeah, so growing up Guyanese, my mom and stuff, we made a lot of Caribbean West Indian cuisine. So like I said, spice is a big staple in Guyana culture. So just going from there, I grew up eating all sorts of array of spices, pickled, garnishes and all that. So these type of condiments are always in the food. So it's the second nature to me. Love in that sense.
And with Sandy's, when did you actually start, bro? Take me through before you even made your first bottle. Like, take me through how this came about.
So that's a great question, Vinny. So the way back, I should say how this came about was my dad actually started a company about 30 years ago called Prestige in Guyana, and he also sold hot sauce. He sold mixed essences, other different condiments, various Caribbean condiments. And his best seller was hot sauce. When we immigrated to Canada, logistically, we were in these West Indian grocery stores, but not as much because we were predominantly in the Caribbean, Guyana, and Trinidad and whatnot. But a lot of people, through word of mouth, they loved the Prestige hot sauce because it was a big staple in their, and their families. So it had a really big name. And growing up, my dad was always that guy who sold hot sauce, or he sold essences. And I saw, the pros and a little bit of the cons as well of running a business, but the pros as well of, owning your own business and having a brand to your name. And I really like that. I like the idea of owning your own company and being your own boss in that sense. Obviously, the recipe is a family recipe, so it's very near and dear to me. So from there, I decided to branch off of my dad's recipe. I tweaked it a little bit to my own interpretation. And of course, I rebranded it entirely myself. So I am, the foundation of my hot sauce is Prestige, my dad's company. However, I decided to rebrand it my entire, myself. And a little fun fact, I'm not sure if you know Vinny, but Sandy's is actually my mom's name. So I was actually sitting there one time. And I was thinking about what name should I give this hot sauce. I was thinking about something to do with like the Caribbean or something to do with like maybe my name, but nothing was rolling off the tongue. And then my dad said my mom's name in the house, and then he called her, and then I was like, Sandy's. That's perfect. Perfect name. It has nice umbrella name. It's easy to pronounce. It has a little ties to, when you think of Sandy, you think of the beach, of sand. So it all ties in together. And I think it's perfect. A nice, simple, short name. And of course, my mom has, an emotional factor to it. So yeah, man, started from there. It's only been about a few years, so it's very slow right now. It's very small. But I'm seeing, like I said, I'm seeing a lot of growth. And yeah, man, it's coming pretty good.
Amazing, bro. I didn't know how deep the family ties were with the company. So that's amazing to hear. So, as a kid, was this something that you would ever think of? Like, maybe not even having your own hot sauce brand, but owning your own business? Was that something you thought of?
Sort of. Like, my dad always pushed the idea of owning your own business because he was a business owner and he showed me the pros of it. The one thing he always told me, he said, Sumit, if you want to go to vacation tomorrow, you don't have to call into your boss and get it approved. You can just book a flight. And that also, that resonated with me a lot because it was true. I saw my dad, if you wanted to go to, New York or Florida, he could just go. Right? You didn't have to, talk to anybody about it. So that was really, that resonated with me. But in regards to owning this specific hot sauce, never that. When I grew up, I wanted to be a lot of things. I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to be a police officer. When you're kids, you think about these wild things. But it only came into light about a few years ago. And, like I said, the name was really well known. And it's almost of a legacy, per se, And a lot of people say, hey, your dad's doing this. You should take over. A lot of people are saying, my dad's getting older. Maybe I should take over the business in Guyana. I even thought about that as well. But I wanted to, go down my own path and also, have my dad and his business as support as well. But I had a lot of things in my mind, but this only came into fruition about, a few years ago. Oh, no.
I really like that idea where you're taking the tradition, but you're putting a new spin on it.
Absolutely.
You're making it your own, but it's still got that family influence.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. It's I always think of it as an analogy. You have a tree and you have the branches, and the branches itself are supported by the foundation of the tree trunk itself. So if you look at that in relation to family, like you have a foundation in your family, but if you are the branch, you're branching off doing your own thing.
Exactly.
Type of thing. So you're supported by your family, but you're your own person.
Makes the whole tree stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Excellent, bro. Excellent. So with the actual creation of the sauce, are you the one literally physically making the sauce?
Absolutely. I'm the one doing everything. It's such a tedious process, Vinny. Like, when I get a bunch of, an order of raw peppers, I actually have to individually pick off the stem of each pepper because we can't blend that. So that's a tedious process of going through, I would say, thousands of individual peppers, just picking them off, blending it myself, putting in all the ingredients, a little bit of, secret ingredient as well to make it good. So everything's done by me, as well as the marketing, posted on Instagram, doing the sales and all that. So it's all done by me. But I hope within the next few years I'm able to expand, maybe get a few members on my team. But for now, yeah, it's just a solo thing.
Good for you, bro. I love seeing young businesses.
Absolutely.
Man. It's passion of the product.
Definitely.
It's not. You can clearly tell with you too. It's not just about making money. It's of course a big aspect to it, but you see the passion you have for it. Willing to put in that groundwork is commendable, bro.
Absolutely, yeah. And I honestly, I don't think this is just it. Like I when you have a brand and you want to sell the brand, you want to expand it to different things. So I always have these ideas in my mind. Maybe you can have a Sandy's restaurant, or
absolutely,
adding different products to the line. Maybe we were talking about before, like maybe jerk seasoning or barbecue sauce or even ketchup, mustard. The possibilities are endless.
They really are. And when you first start opening the door, then you see those possibilities. It's interesting, bro. I have other business, like shout out BioBall in here.
Oh, nice.
Even shout out Team 24/7. All these guys and including yourself, no matter what the business is, there's a common denominator. Like let's start it off ourselves.
Yeah.
See what we can do with it, and we learn so much.
Absolutely, yeah. Like these small businesses, it's dollar and a dream. I think J. Cole said that, right?
For real.
So
bro.
once you have that dollar and once you have that dream first, you have that $1. That's all you need. You just keep going from there. These are great. I was looking at this when I first came in, like this little plant. I love it.
Yeah, shout out to them, bro. And that's the cool thing about doing what you're doing too.
Yeah.
Opportunity to meet other businesses, helping each other out.
Absolutely.
Everyone's trying to do the same thing, really.
Absolutely. And with that being said, I've noticed, it might be a little bit controversial to say, but I noticed when I'm in this industry, people who are also in this similar business, tends to be a little bit of a head-to-head competition.
Okay.
Who can do better and stuff like that. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Vinny, but I find it, especially in the GTA in Canada, the culture of supporting one another isn't as prominent as you would think, like in the U.S. A lot of people might agree with this in regards to the music industry. I'm doing a lot of young up-and-coming rappers. They don't get the support as they normally would think that they would have. Same thing applies to small businesses. You know, I've seen or heard a lot of things about my brand that people have said. Of course, it doesn't affect me as much because I know the value of my product, but it's not always rainbows and sunshine is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you touched on it, bro, because it takes a very strong person to be able to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to get some hate. I've said this before.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to do something positive, you're going to sign up for some shit that comes
Absolutely.
with it. And you can't take the positive to
Yeah.
like the positive support's amazing, but you have to keep humble, and that negative you kind of have to be able to brush it off.
Absolutely. And even like whenever I even get negative reviews, I also take into consideration as well, like what can I do better?
Yeah.
But then you also have to filter out like who is giving you actual constructive criticism and who is actually talking shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that you have to filter off yourself and see, you know, what is real, what is fake in that sense.
You're 100% right. But do you feel like the support outweighs the criticisms?
100%. I'm actually like I'm really blessed. I have when I first started this, all my friends like supported me right from the beginning. Said this is awesome, you know, because whenever they come to my house and you know we barbecue or we cook dinner, like they had my dad's hot sauce. They always loved it.
Yeah.
So when I told them, hey, like I'm doing this for myself, they 100% they supported. So I had a really good support system with all my friends, even my family. You know, my siblings and stuff, they supported me. Like I would go to venues, I go to like Christmas markets, and then my sisters would always support me with doing all that. So I like to think that I have a really good support system, you know. But of course, with the support system comes with the constructive criticism of what we can do better. And again, I'm really grateful for that as well.
It's true, bro. Especially if it makes sense.
Absolutely.
It's like, yeah, you know what? That is a good idea. Maybe I can improve on that. But you're 100% right, bro. You do have to have a filter on there.
Mm-hmm.
The support, it's interesting, but I think things are improving slowly, bro. With
Absolutely.
a lot of people are seeming to have like a little side thing going on, and you know, if we could support with different products, different communities. Set everyone up on a good.
I mean, hey, like the way I would say we're talking about before, the way the housing market is, like you have to have some sort of like side income just to get something going, right? Because housing market's crazy, gas is crazy. I started the other day. I was driving here. It's like $1.60 a liter.
Bro, it's gonna go to $2.
Yeah, man. By summertime, like I'm staying home. Like I'm not going out nowhere. If it's $2 a liter, I'm not going anywhere, man.
No, it's true, bro. And you know what? Side income, super important, but even just a positive outlet for your time.
Yes.
Just put your time towards good use, bro.
Absolutely.
I don't know about you, but I much prefer trying to build something than just trying to like watch TV and shit.
Absolutely.
You know?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the days where I, you know, Friday night, I'm just trying to watch TV. Like I would like to think a lot of people, they work a lot, but if you have like the one day for you, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was talking to one of my friends and their dad, I was talking to him, and he's a carpenter and he like works a lot, right? People are always calling him to do jobs. And he told me, he said, Sumit, whenever I go to the gym, I shut off my phone and I have that 1 hour to myself and nobody can bug me. I love that. Right? He said that. He's like, I don't care. You can have all... He's a very giving person. He said, you can take all the time you want, but I have that 1 hour, and that's my hour. Right? And I really like that. But it's kind of crazy to think that, you know, we give a lot, but we don't really have time for ourselves. You know?
You're not at your best if you're just going all
Absolutely.
the time. It's a balance that I think will always be adjusting in our lives. You
Absolutely.
know? I don't know if you want kids one day, but, you know, if you do, that's going to change
Something,
your life.
eh?
Always gonna be changes coming up, bro.
100%. Like I see, like my sister, Elisa, she has a kid, and I see how difficult it is to raise it. Like just one child. So imagine like 2 or 3 kids. Oh man, like
with trying to run a business, with
Yeah.
trying to pay the bills, you know.
yeah, she has a little side business of her own. She makes like like signs for doors. She makes like custom mugs and stuff.
Nice.
So that's her little side job. So I see how hard it is to balance all that, you know. But who's to say in 10 years where we're gonna be?
That's the thing, bro. It is hard, but everything worth doing is difficult.
100%.
That brings also the most reward.
100%. I don't think anything in this life I could say is easy.
No, it's not worth doing if it's easy. Man.
Exactly. And if it's easy, people would have done it already. You know what I mean?
I have a thing on my show called Cliche Gang.
Yeah.
I mention cliches and it's funny because, bro, these cliches are so true. Man.
Yeah.
They've been around 100 years and they're so true.
It's 100% true. I think about it all the time. Like, if making hot sauce in Sunday was easy, everyone would be doing it, right?
True.
Of course, a lot of hurdles when it comes to this, like, from all aspects, from like, logistically speaking to, like, manufacturing to, like, sales. There's always difficulties, all of it, especially if you're a one-man show, doing it all by yourself, it has its troubles. But I'll be honest, man, Vinny, that when people buy my products and when they dig into it and say, oh, man, I love it, it's the best hot sauce, that's what really motivates me. That's what keeps me going.
Amazing, bro.
Yeah.
It shows you that you're really capable of big things.
Absolutely. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about quitting, like, down the road so many times because of how hard it is. But then when I think about that, I also resort to, like, the positive customer feedback that I received, and I also think about if I were to quit, how much people would be disappointed. I'm sure you'll be pretty mad yourself if I said, "Hey, man, I'm out of the business," right?
You know what, bro? When you like, even looking at these bottles, like I'm super impressed. Like that's store quality bottles.
Yeah, absolutely.
You obviously have come a long way. Why stop now?
Absolutely.
Why stop now? And I would say that to anybody, and I hope you would say that to me as well. Like, let's just keep going, man.
Absolutely. Like, I see, like, the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
I have a vision of mine, to have Sandy's as an actual brand. Like, I don't want it to just be a hot sauce. I want it to be an actual brand. Like, you look at Sriracha or even Frank's, they have a slogan. I put that shit on everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a staple in the culture, so I want that as well. I want to sell the brand as it is. You look at it. Even a company like Nike, like, it's actually a lifestyle. I'm saying just do it. They've branded an entire lifestyle of athletics.
Yeah, bro.
Tongue twister. But you know what I mean? Like, I want to be like that. Have the brand. Like when you think of hot sauce, you think of Sandy's.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Bro.
That's what I want to get.
Even we shouted out Hot Ones. Man, Hot Ones started off as just like a random YouTube show, and it eventually became a huge monster. And there's no way those guys could have predicted it.
Absolutely.
But you think they weren't thinking, like, man, maybe we could do something here.
Absolutely. Everything was just an idea.
Exactly.
Like, hey, let's just sit down, get some hot wings, and just, like, shoot the shit. And it spiraled down to a crazy thing. And by the way, guys, like, the hot sauce we're eating right now is the mustard hot sauce, which is why it's open. I was telling Vinny before, I don't know if you can see, but they put in that much hot. Yeah. So as I'm eating, bro, I'm like low-key dying.
We're sweating in here, turned up the heat.
I don't know if I put this one, we wouldn't be able to to talk right now.
That one's for after hours, bro.
100%.
But I really like, I fuck with the flavor. I've told you many times. I have the bottles at home too, enjoying those heavily. But yeah, bro, there's no such thing as like a stupid idea, bro. Yeah. If you're willing to put the time in and it's positive, if you're trying to put your time towards something positive,
absolutely,
huge chances for you.
I was actually looking into like the psychological things of selling. Like when I was working at I was at a Christmas market, for example.
Yeah.
It's a Caribbean Christmas market, and I noticed the other people that were selling items. They were, for example, the lady was selling cupcakes. She wasn't selling cupcakes individually. She was selling cupcakes in a box of 6. Now, psychologically, if someone's walking around a Christmas market, they wouldn't want to carry a box of 6. They would want to maybe eat one individual cupcake. If that person were to sell that individually, she would actually have made more money, selling it individually as opposed to selling a box. So the lady, it's so crazy that the convenience of a product also is a deciding factor. And that's why this product, I believe it was, for that Christmas market, was great because it doesn't really expire. It doesn't have no expiration date. It's made of vinegar. It's one bottle. It's enclosed. You can put it in your pocket. It's very convenient to have. And therefore, that's why I found a lot of success, at the markets. But all these things, all these factors that come into play, when you're selling a product.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
Was that the first market you took Sandy's to?
Yeah, the first Caribbean market. It was it was hosted by a group of girls, a group of women, I should say, by the name of Brown Girl Diaries, BG Diaries. Essentially, they advocate for women's rights and equality.
Right.
And because they're Caribbean based, they actually host events such as that. So they had a Indo-Caribbean market where the products and services are sold were Caribbean owners. So, of course, I was very fortunate to be one of the products. There's a lot of other products, like cupcakes. Some people were selling crystals, like spiritual crystals and all that. It was actually really interesting. And like I said, when I was there, I found to be really successful at that market, just because it's crazy. I think this having a convenient product. Like I notice a lot of people with this hustle and bustle lifestyle, they don't want to be inconvenienced. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So if it's a quick transaction, they don't mind doing it. If they like the product and it's quick and easy, they'll do it. That's why don't see a lot of people like subscribing to like emails or anything, because they find it inconvenient. But yeah, like I said, this product, it was real quick and easy, so a lot of people loved it. I actually had a taste testing section, so I had some crackers, poured a little bit of hot sauce on it. They loved it, of course. And then they just went from there. So yeah, man, it was a great success. I hope to be doing this all throughout the year, especially during Caravana weekend.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people come across the world. So fingers crossed, man. Hopefully I can get into some of the venues there.
Bro. I think slowly coming out of these lockdowns, I think people are hungry for fun, bro.
100%. So especially the weather coming up.
Yeah, man. I think we're sitting potentially on a gold mine, bro.
Absolutely. Like I said before, like during Caravana time, a lot of people are supporting small businesses as well. So I definitely think so as well. A lot of people love it.
Absolutely, bro. Even going into the market is cool too, because you're just putting yourself in a different situation, giving yourself another chance to grow.
Absolutely.
Meet some new businesses potentially, meet some new people. It's those types of experiences are so valuable, man.
Absolutely. Like during that event, I actually networked with a lot of other small businesses, and it was great. We were all in the same boat, like as small business trying to make it. So we all were very like-minded people, which I really loved. There was no competition at all, just because we all are in different industries. So it was really great to network with them. I still actually reach out to a few of them up to now, just to see how business is going. I follow all of them on social media. So it was great to have a bunch of like-minded individuals just having one specific goal, and we're not stepping on each other's toes. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. Everyone can eat.
Everyone can eat. Exactly that. Everyone can eat. Everyone's doing their own respective thing. So it's great, and I love seeing the variety of different businesses that people think of. As people are very creative out there.
It's true, bro. It's just for the people watching. Sumit and I, we know each other from working in corporate sales. You know, and I don't know about you, but working in corporate sales showed me some real strategies too. Absolutely. Where it's like, yo, sometimes you're not gonna get that sale right off the bat, but you planting the seed a couple weeks, couple months, a year down the road, they'll remember you, and that time will hit. Absolutely.
Like Vinny, I don't know if you did this back in your day, but whenever I speak to customers, I tend to form to their language. So if I'm speaking to a guy in Alberta who's out in the boonies, he's a little bit more of a casual speaker, I drop the formality. I do casual, and you know what? People love, they love to see themselves and other people. Yep. You know what I mean? So it works really well, man. Just feeding off the other people's body language, or even how they speak, and dropping down to their level. You can go a long way. You can definitely build a really good relationship.
You're right, bro. That's so important, because we sometimes can forget that we're dealing with human beings.
Absolutely.
Man. Even especially in the COVID shit, everything virtual, this and that, but we're not virtual people, bro. We're humans. We need that contact. We need that relationship.
Absolutely.
And business is like that too.
Yeah, and I tend to forget it sometimes, because of course the goal of sales is to make money for the business. So we tend to sometimes see people as a dollar sign or an amount, a quantity, as opposed to an actual person. But I feel like dropping that, again, like you said, talking to them as an individual, you're able to actually have a deeper connection, and it benefits in the long run.
For sure, bro. And that's how you separate your business too.
Absolutely.
Hot sauce, podcast, there's a million hot sauce companies, a million podcasts, but there's not a million you.
Absolutely.
There's not a million me.
Absolutely.
We can separate ourselves just by being that individual.
Absolutely.
Connecting with them.
It's a very gray line, because I always feel like you said, there's a million other hot sauce businesses. So what is Sandy's doing different than the others? But I also feel like, of course, sometimes you can be too creative, and the fact that it might just resort back to going to ground zero. Sometimes I do believe there's a thing of doing too much.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And the reason why there's things that they work for a reason, because it's better off as it is. So the fine line of being creative and also being too creative, or being pushing it a little bit too far. So
that's a great point.
Yeah, you have to work within that gray area, and it's very difficult.
It's a great point, bro. The product, keep it simple.
Yeah.
And build off of it.
Absolutely. I like to think of myself as Sandy's itself, because I'm the one going on the streets telling people, so I'm an embodiment of the company itself. So I am part of Sandy, so therefore I again, like you just said, I am me. There's no other Sumit.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit. The benefit of Sandy's. You get to interact with me, interact with customers, great customer service. This lifestyle itself. I think it's like I said, pushing your own personality is also a big factor as well.
It's something that you can do without really, it's not a financial investment.
Mm-mm.
It's you. Like, you
Absolutely.
have it. And it I don't know about you, but that helps me keep me kind of focused too, where it's like,
Yeah.
I'll see other people doing good shit, this and that, and I
Yeah.
fuck with it, but it's also like, okay, but I could do good shit too, It's
Absolutely.
not just switch our whole vibe just to match with them.
Yeah, I think that's why like Joe Rogan and these like impulsive like podcasts, they're good because it's their personality. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Anyone can get a mic and a couple of chairs. You know what I mean? Like the questions they ask, their persona makes all the difference.
You're right, bro. In any business, that's the case.
Absolutely, right? Like any business, like the personality is part of it, or the corporate culture,
Yeah.
the dynamic of the business. That's what makes everything different. I'm sure there are I'm sure there's like thousands of other companies that are better than Sandy's in regards to flavor or even like logistically, but again, the brand itself is different. You can push the brand specifically, and that's what I want to do actually. Like, again, sell the brand as Sandy's. Like I said, maybe it'll be an umbrella of like different things. Maybe Sandy's restaurant, like Sandy's nightclub. Who really knows, right?
Know, bro. You never know. I mean,
never
you
know.
mentioned Frank's earlier. Frank's
Yeah.
is now some of the best commercials. Like whenever I say
Absolutely.
Frank's, and they probably started off very small.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know if you know the story about Sriracha, but it was actually I might be butchering this, but it was actually an immigrant that came to California, and he had this Sriracha pepper. I used to sell it used to make it on his own for his family, and again, same thing. A lot of people loved it, and he just went from there, snowballed into the business. And the one thing about Sriracha I find is that it's mild, but it's also not very spicy, so it perfectly hits the middle ground of a lot of people. A lot of people like a little bit of spice, but not too much. I personally think Sriracha is that, and it just snowballed into something big. And now I honestly believe it's probably the biggest hot sauce.
yeah, you see it
business
everywhere.
Everywhere, you know what I mean? Like, and in every market, it's not just South Asian markets or Asian markets. It's all over the place. But again, it just started from a guy who had a recipe.
I think sometimes we focus a lot on the finished product. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this company's massive, but it wasn't started off that way.
Never.
No one starts with 1 million followers on IG. No one starts with $1 million in sales. Like, you gotta start somewhere.
I mean, I wish, right? If that was the case, by
Yeah.
all means, but that's not the reality of things,
No.
And there's different outlets to get into it. We were just talking about it before. Like, TikTok is a big outlet. I've seen a lot of businesses like post like cool and funky videos that are trendy, and it blows up, and then they just promote their business through that. It's amazing.
You have to really have an open mind if you're in the business world. You can't think,
Absolutely.
oh, TikTok's stupid, I'm not gonna use it. You
Never.
gotta use everything, man.
Everything, man. And like, even when Vine was a thing, people were doing that as well. There's this one company, they sell like they actually sell sports equipment that are signed by like actual professionals, and baseballs and baseball bats. And their entire concept of their TikTok profile is that they ask each other like questions. So for example, I'll say, hey Vinny, like I'll show you a picture of Morgan Freeman. I was like, name a movie that you've seen him in recently. Stupid things like that, but people like it because it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Little did they know, like, they're promoting the business on the side, but you don't even know it. You know what I mean? Because while you're talking to them, they're just fixing up their orders. You know what I mean? It's like it's subconscious.
Very smart, bro.
Yeah.
That's so creative.
Very creative, and I loved it, man. I was thinking about doing some stuff like that as well, but like I said, it's just me, right?
Yeah.
So
It's good that you you say that though, because
mhm.
ideas don't go bad.
No.
You know that, okay, it is just me right now, but this is still a good idea, and I'm going to stash this for a
Absolutely.
minute.
Absolutely.
I go through that same shit where it's like, I want to do all this stuff, but I am just me.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm throwing that idea away. We're going to do this shit at some
Absolutely.
point.
And like I've noticed on TikTok as well, a lot of people are foodies, and if you know, like, Toronto's a big food spot. We have so many different cultures. So I wanted to tap into the market of going to different food spots and applying Sandy's to the dishes. I find like it's quite successful, and a lot of people are, even like food bloggers, are willing to work with other businesses as well. Just because like Toronto, there's so much diverse cuisines. and different cultures, like it's actually a perfect spot to do something like that.
You're right.
Yeah.
Huge, bro. Huge restaurant place.
Yeah.
And food in general is just universal. Like, everyone loves food. Everyone seems to love food content as well.
Yeah. You can't go wrong. You know, you ever see those ASMRs, like they bite into chicken and
yeah,
stuff?
Bro.
I don't understand that. I can never get behind that, but people like it.
People like it, man. I mean, you think, again, hot ones, like, you're eating chicken and talking. You think that will get 20 million views? Yeah. But it does. Like,
just saying that, eating chicken and just shooting the shit, you would never, like, it sounds stupid.
Yeah, it sounds like a little funny thing, but it became like a monster, bro.
Yeah, you got, like, we're just saying, like, Shaq was on there, Gordon Ramsay. Everybody, man. Like, that's insane. Like, there's even this one video, again, there's other guys on TikTok, they're eating around the world in Toronto. So they tried every cuisine of the entire, like, of every country in the world in the GTA. So it just shows you how big the GTA is. Like, if you have a certain palette, you have a certain thing, like, you'll find it in Toronto.
Yeah, you're
That's crazy,
right.
man.
So many neighborhoods, so many cultures. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I saw this one video with Pascal Siakam, like the Toronto Raptor. When he moved to this country, he said he was missing his home cooked food because, you know, that's what he grew up on. And he goes to this lady in Pickering who like serves like authentic like Congo food. And he goes there all the time, and like they have a really good relationship. So it just shows like if you're any part of the world, like you'll find it in Toronto.
You're right.
You know, it's insane.
Toronto's the most. Toronto. I've said this a million times. We have everything we need here. Like,
absolutely.
I think there is that kind of underdog mentality.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's as necessary.
No.
We have everything here.
Yeah. I think in regards to Canada, we are the biggest city, like, of course, population-wise, and when it comes to opportunities. Like,
for sure.
And I've traveled in North America a little bit. I've been to New York, like Orlando, I mentioned, Miami. Toronto competes with these cities when it comes to businesses. Like, we're big, and even nightlife. Toronto's a very good at nightlife scene.
Huge.
But I find a lot of people complain about the city that they're always in. It's just natural. Like, if I was in LA, people complain about LA being sucky. But to me, if I'm a tourist there, I would love LA. You know what I mean? So people always complain about these things. But if you actually take a step back, like, Toronto's very, very diverse. Has a lot of opportunities.
100% right, bro.
Yeah. That's
a good point, man. Whenever you don't appreciate what you have sometimes.
Never, man. Never. Like, I always see it all the time. Like, and like, I would like go to these cities like again, New York or Orlando or Miami, and said like, or like they hype up these things that they have. I'm like, Toronto has this as well. Like, we got this. You know what I mean?
Facts. Are you a Raptor fan?
I a little bit, yeah. I stopped watching this year, but I'm pretty up there.
Masai said a really fire quote recently. He's like, man, we are like big dogs. Like, we're gonna win again, and we're so used to hearing, oh, we can't get free agents to come to Toronto. To have someone who's really like that leader tell you, no, it's gonna happen. Like, we got this shit.
Absolutely.
I love that stuff, man.
Yeah, I remember I was watching this interview with Vince Carter when he first got drafted to Toronto Raptors. He was saying that everybody, it was actually in a documentary he did when he retired in 2020.
Yeah.
He was saying that everybody was telling him, like, why are you going to Toronto? There's nothing there. Like, what are you going to do in Toronto? Right? But little did they know, like, Toronto's a big, huge city. You know what I mean? That all these opportunities, way more than, like, you would think, like, Cleveland or, like, all these, like, Utah.
Yeah,
what these guys are going to. But like, Toronto's big, man.
Huge
city. Like, we compete. Like, I honestly feel like in regards to nightlife, I haven't, like, of course, I don't go out as much. But I do believe when it comes to opportunities in the music industry, we're, like, one of the best in North America.
For sure, bro. On 100%. I think even with people, we're just behind LA, New York, and like Miami, maybe.
Yeah, we're more than Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's actually crazy. You wouldn't think this, but Brampton has a higher population than Miami. You wouldn't think that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That shows you, man.
Yeah, I think Brampton's about 600,000 people, and then Miami's just under that. Right, so these cities aren't as big as we claim it to be, but we see on social media how big and nice it is.
Flashy and shit.
Yeah.
We got a fucking gold mine sitting here, bro.
100%.
I think so.
Yeah, even like I'm not too big into the Toronto rap scene, but I do believe the R&B scene in Toronto is amazing.
Yeah.
We got big, really good artists. Like I don't know if you count Tory Lanez as an R&B artist, but he as an artist in general amazing.
Guy, man.
Yeah.
Even shout out Brampton, Alessia Cara.
Yeah, Alessia Cara. These guys are crazy. How do you feel about these artists coming from the West End or East End but claiming Toronto?
I fuck with it because I'm gonna picture myself like if I go to LA and someone asks where I'm from, am I gonna say Mississauga? You know?
Yeah.
I'll say Toronto, but still rep your neighborhood. Like I'm not gonna say I grew up downtown because I didn't. I'll tell them like I grew up in Mississauga.
Absolutely.
I think it is a language thing because, bro, I remember being in Florida once and a guy asked me where I come from. And I think I said Mississauga. He had no fucking idea. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to do that again.
I know it's funny, man. Like, when I went to Florida as well, I have a lot of cousins. They would make fun of me because, like, oh, I'm from Brampton. And on social media, Brampton's like the laughing stock of Canada. They don't know why, but they just do it, right? So if the cities are up there, but they're up there for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But you know what, bro? I'd rather be known than not known at the end of the day. I don't know where your fucking city is.
Yeah, literally. Like, if you're in, like, Ohio, like, where are you?
That shit going. Shout out Ohio, though. But, no, that's facts. You said you lived in Florida for a bit, yeah? Yeah,
so I actually, in 2018, long story short, we applied for our citizenship, and 2018 we got approved. So I moved out to in 2019 for a bit. So I was about there for about a year. It was great, man. I had family there in Orlando, so I wasn't alone, but of course the lifestyle was very laid back. Weather's obviously amazing, but when I was there, I was really on my grind because I was moving to a different country. I told myself I didn't want to be lazy, so I was working 2 jobs, was hitting the gym every day. I was studying to actually get into real estate, get my real estate license, but unfortunately when COVID hit, all that went out the window just because they actually initially shut down a lot of businesses. And then did some soul searching and came back to Canada. But man, I was there for about a year and I really loved it. And I go back there all the time.
Yeah. Which part of Florida?
It's in Orlando. So I'm about like half an hour from Orlando, the city itself. But Orlando, again, is an amazing city. Like, has a lot of opportunities. Of course, Disney's there. Man, you don't realize the opportunities that Disney itself, the company itself, like, has on the entire state of Florida. Like, they actually have
rename it Disney.
Yeah, they actually have a saying. I learned it there. It says, "Don't underestimate the power of the mouse," and the mouse is Mickey Mouse. But yeah, it's insane. The amount of businesses are just associated with Disney. It's absolutely insane.
Interesting, bro. Did you when you were out there, do you feel like it helped you kind of keep a fresh mindset?
I definitely had a different set of perspective, and we were just talking about just now in regards to culture. Of course, the GTA is so diverse. Going into Orlando, it has more of a predominantly like Hispanic and African American community, so that diversity isn't as predominant as it was in Toronto. Right. So that was actually a bit of a culture shock. Like, if I wanted to get some really good Indian food now, I could go anywhere, but in Orlando, it's a little bit difficult. You know what I mean? So definitely a bit of a culture shock. So it's a big change of perspective. But of course, I make with what I can.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm a big fan of changing your setting here and there.
Absolutely.
Just get out of your comfort zone a little bit. See how people live a little differently.
Absolutely. And like even like I said, the weather takes a big toll in regard to that. Like when I was working in a company, I was working for workers' compensation in sales as well. And my manager told me, she said, don't even try bothering to reach out to people on a Friday, because Friday people are just mentally checked out. You know what I mean? They don't even pick up the phone.
Yeah.
So I can't even sell them because they're making plans for the weekend, whatever it is. So it's just very leisurely, laid back lifestyle. Whereas Toronto's a little bit more of a hustle bustle. You know what I mean? A little bit of a New York lifestyle per se.
Yeah.
You know.
It is interesting, bro. You do see the differences.
Yeah.
I was in Vancouver in the summer, and on a Friday, the bars were packed on like 1 in the afternoon.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, I can't really see myself working when there's a beach out your fucking window and it's like 25 degrees, you know?
Absolutely. You look out into the coast, you see the mountains.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to not be partying a little bit on a Friday.
It makes you think, man, like, again, like, Ontario's a beautiful state, province, but like when it comes to natural beauty, we don't really have that as opposed to the West Coast.
Not like that.
No.
Not like that. You can go on a nice hike and shit, but you're not going to see mountains and like, beaches like that. But.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you know, but where I take care of in sales is Calgary. They all say the same thing, like the Rocky Mountains. Like they say they love it. Like it's absolutely insane. I believe like if you look at the skyline of the city, you can see the mountains behind.
Yep.
You know,
it is really good for you to see different shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I'm someone who I get kind of homesick when I go away.
Really?
Bro. Like not bad, but it's like all right, I'm ready to come home. But just a few days in a different setting, I think is valuable.
Absolutely. I have a saying, like, the home is where you're comfortable on your toilet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's messed up to say, but, like, it's true. Like, wherever you're comfortable, like, doing your business,
shit,
that's where home is. And whenever you go on vacation, you miss that.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's valuable, like.
Absolutely, to experience different things. Have you been, like, outside of Have you been traveling lately, or?
Not since COVID. Vancouver was the only spot I went to. I went twice though, just because flights were super cheap this year.
Yeah, they were.
Really like Vancouver. I'm not sure if you've been there. But
I've never been. No.
Really, really, really cool place. But I've been to places pre-COVID, and very important to just fuck yourself up a little bit, you know?
Absolutely.
Shake things up.
I think the best culture shock I had was I actually went to China with my dad. So I did go to Vancouver, but it was just a stopover at the airport, so I didn't really go out. That was the biggest culture shock because they're very brazen when it comes to like noticing you. Like for example, of course, like we don't look like the Chinese people there. Like they would literally like stop and stare and point at you. So they're very, very like they don't care. So big culture shock in regards to that.
You're not from there.
They know it too, right? And sometimes they even discriminate a little bit as well, but that's just the culture. You know, it's a culture shock on their end as well. But just generally, man, like to see, it's crazy to see. I was in Shanghai, and Shanghai is about like almost 30 million people in that city, but it's so clean. There's actually not a single garbage on the ground. It's really insane. Like they actually have like workers like no matter what your job is, they sweep the streets all the time. So it's a very clean city. When you're walking on the street, like you actually walk on one side and the people walking the opposite automatically walk on the other. There's no mix and match. It's very orderly. It's crazy.
That is crazy, bro. Yeah. I've never been out that way at all.
Me neither, yeah.
Have you been to other places in Asia?
No, never. So that was actually the first one. So I'm glad I got to experience that right off the bat. But yeah, man, the culture shock. Even like the train, like the subway train. Sorry, the bullet train. Where it's like literally like thousands, 100,000 people like go there every day, and like when the doors open, like nobody's rushing in like you would in a TTC.
Yeah,
they're all lined up accordingly. Nobody's pushing, nobody like that. And the one thing I always saw was amazing when I got my ticket. It said that the train is leaving at 2:30 p.m. and 30 seconds. They put the seconds, and it actually left at 30 seconds. They were like very, you know what I mean?
Very rules oriented.
Very rule oriented, and they did not like fuck around. Like they were very serious about that. Like not even a second late.
That's humbling to see, eh?
Very, it's very rule oriented. It's crazy to see, and like operation wise, like they're amazing. You know what I mean? It's a bullet train. They go like 500 kilometers an hour. Like, it's insane. But they're very like they have to be like that. You know what I mean?
500 an hour.
I actually don't quote me on that. I think it's like 400 and something.
That's
but still
fast as hell, bro. It's
yeah,
like
hella fast. Yeah,
that's crazy, man. I love that you experienced that.
Yeah, bro. I'm really glad I got the experience. It was just me and my dad. It was there for like 2 weeks. It was absolutely insane. I think like the best thing was I went to a vegan restaurant in Shanghai, and the restaurant was vegan since the 1920s.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been obviously like 100 years now. And we went there, and the crazy thing was my dad, whenever we go to foreign countries, he would wear a Toronto Maple Leafs hat. He doesn't watch hockey, but he has it to show that he's Canadian.
Smart.
Yeah, so we were in like, we got dropped off in a hotel, and a guy like taps my dad on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I like your hat." In English. So like, "Oh, man, like you're Canadian." He's like, yeah, like I'm from Hamilton. I was like, "Oh man, like we're from Brampton." So he was a student actually studying in the University of Shanghai, and he had data on his phone. So he ended up showing us where the restaurant was, and we actually ended up taking him out to dinner and stuff. It was a great experience.
Amazing,
yeah,
man.
Never would have thought you'd see a fellow Canadian, eh?
That's
Shanghai.
so sick, man. That's like a blend of street smarts, being a good guy, you know.
Very cool guy.
That's so cool, bro.
One thing I think about from time to time, I ended up getting a temporary SIM card in Shanghai, and I saved his number, but it saves to the SIM. So when I threw up the SIM, his number got deleted. But I always said, you know, whenever you're back in Canada, we'll definitely hang out, right? But never heard of him since, you know. But it is what it is.
The universe is funny, bro. You're gonna run into that guy when you least expect.
He's gonna buy one of these.
Hell yeah.
Yep, I recognize you, man.
Place an order.
Oh, you never know. He might see this podcast and.
You never know, bro. The universe is a crazy thing.
Absolutely, man.
That's awesome, bro. Being in a place, too, where you don't speak the language, I feel like it brings you back to, like, okay, pure kind of survival mode. Like, I need to get where I gotta go.
Very scary, eh?
It's a cool scary, though. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
There's a challenge now. Bro, how many times do you leave the house kind of borderline, like, sleepwalking?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm barely awake right now. I gotta get to work. But when you're in a place you can't speak the language, you're on point. Like.
But I don't like it. I'll be honest. I find it like crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah, especially if you're going through airports or like train stations and you don't know where you're going. It's super scary. And again, it's the same lifestyle. People always gotta go somewhere, so they're not as much willing to help because they got places to be. Personally, man, I don't like. Of course, I can't do anything about the language barrier, but if I could avoid it, I would. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people, they love to get lost in the New York train station, subway station, or like You know what I mean? The the subway station, or like they like that because it's
until they're in the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah, until they're in the wrong neighborhood, yeah, they'll go. Because to them, that's an adventure. But to me, like, I don't like that, man.
No, I feel you, bro. It's not a comfortable feeling at all.
Not at all.
But the thing about it, I'd say I appreciate it more than like it because, like, yo, you're really nothing in this shit.
No.
Like, you're not anything. Like, you keep humble. I'm big on, like, just trying to be humble, bro.
Absolutely. Like
you can be the man in your hometown. You go a couple hours away, you're nothing, bro.
Nobody knows who you are. Yeah, I seen I follow a lot of UK like drill rap, and a lot of these rappers saying that these New York rappers, these American rappers, when they come to the UK, they have the same gangster mentality as they were in America, but it doesn't apply in Europe.
No.
And they get checked for that, you know, in a different way. So a lot of people need to get humbled.
100%, bro. You gotta know. You gotta know where you're at, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually had some rappers from Brooklyn in here a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about that. Like, yo, you gotta be good where you're at. Like, just be cool. Like, just don't be too.
Be civil.
Be civil, man. Who do you fuck with UK wise? I'm a fan too.
I mean, it's cliche. I mean, the mainstream guy is obviously Skepta.
Yeah.
I like Stormzy a little bit. It's crazy to say, like, I don't really know the artist names as much, but like I have like a UK like drill rap like playlist.
Yeah.
Whoever comes on. Yeah, it's dope. I think the UK drill is amazing, man. It's like aggressive. I love it.
They've been doing that too.
Yeah.
They're ahead of the curve.
Yeah, a lot of people are comparing New York drill to like UK drill to like Chicago drill, but in my opinion, I think UK drill is where it's at.
It, bro.
Yeah, they got it down pat. A lot of people don't like it because the accent and the slang is different, but it's acquired taste. You know what I mean?
I find them to be the closest to Toronto. Like
yes,
Toronto. I don't feel like we're like New York or Chicago. No. I feel like we're like UK.
Absolutely, like the lingo. You already know this, but like we're influenced by the same cultures and nationalities. So our lingo is very similar. Like if we were to go to London, and someone spoke to us in their style, we would be able to understand.
Yeah, normally. Exactly. We know what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's crazy to think. Like we're like two cities completely opposite ends of the country, but we're so very culturally similar.
They're kind of like the sister cities, I guess you could say.
Absolutely, yeah, and like I do think we influence each other a little bit. I don't think Toronto rap is as big or as good, I would say, as UK drill, but I do think we're up and coming.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Yeah,
it's interesting too. There's always been a bit of that relationship there too. Like UK rappers, K-Coke?
No, I don't.
He's one of he's an OG for sure, and he always speaks very highly of Toronto because he's been coming here a lot, and it was harder for them to go to the States than to come to Toronto,
Absolutely.
So there's that kind of relationship.
Yeah, even a lot of dancehall and reggae artists in Jamaica they love Toronto because Toronto, again, big Caribbean community. When Caribbean time, they're heavily influenced,
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, they're big. So, again, Toronto's a big one-stop shop for a lot of cultures and a lot of industries, so.
It really is, bro. Yeah. It really is.
But I do think we have a lot to work on in regards to music. I think we have potential. There's a lot of really big artists, but they don't get support as much as they need.
Yeah, it's a fucking crazy conversation, bro. A lot of the most talented guys get killed.
Yeah.
Go to jail.
Yeah.
We need a full roster, man.
Absolutely.
Full roster out here. We're up.
Yeah, it's a little bit controversial to say, but those people who live that street lifestyle, they rap about it, but they succumb to the streets itself because you live that lifestyle. So part of me, of course, feels for them because especially big rappers when they die, but also you do live that lifestyle. You know what's expected of it. So you know what I mean? It's again, so it's a sensitive subject, but
no, it's real life, bro.
Yeah,
that's not to not to make it too funny of a transition, but that's why I like to talk to people like yourself that are running little businesses and this and that, because you don't need to just be a rapper, bro. Shout out to all my rappers. 100%. Love you guys. You keep hustling, but not everyone's gonna be a rapper. But there's other ways to succeed out here, A
lot of different ways to make it out of the hood.
A lot of different ways, man. So to see someone like yourself putting in that groundwork, grinding,
absolutely.
Bro.
Absolutely. And mind you, I'm not from the hood in any way, but
it doesn't matter though, bro. Yeah. The mentality is the same wherever you're from.
Absolutely.
Let's turn something. Yeah. Let's turn nothing into something,
Yeah, that hustle mentality. I think it's the same across every single community, man. Right? To make something for something of yourself and all.
It is. So I appreciate you doing your thing. It's important, bro. That's how I feel you create a good culture.
Yeah.
Hard work. helping others,
Absolutely.
doing your thing.
Yeah, and especially like we're all diaspora within the community, so I always think about when we have kids, like how far away from their culture would they be? Because
Yes.
you know what I mean. I grew up here, and then they would be essentially growing up here, so they might be straying away from their roots. So doing things like this, or staying within the community, like helps them a lot. I would hate to have like my children don't know much about their culture or their upbringing. My dad like reminds me all the time. You know what I mean? Him growing up, he used to like graze cows and you know what I mean. Have a little farm. And of course, I never grew up like that, but he always reminds me whenever like I'm being lazy. He's like, when I was your age, I was doing this. You know how it is.
Yeah,
Right?
man. It's important though. Sometimes we're like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah,
but
man.
It is important, man.
Yeah.
And for yourself, do you have your dad as like a resource? Like, do you go to him and be like, what do you think of this?
Absolutely. So when it came to the mustard hot sauce, I basically said, hey, like this is a little bit of his. The island heat, I said, this is what I'm doing. What's your opinion on this? I said, I'm gonna do a little bit this, take away this, put in this. He said, okay, blessed. Actually, just recently, it hasn't come out as yet, but I'll just say with you, I'm actually working on a third product. So it's something I won't say too much about it, but same thing again. I called him and said, hey, like, what do you think of this? Should I add this? Should I take away this? And then he basically guided me because, of course, he's been doing it for 30 years, so he knows the industry pretty well. And yeah, he basically guided me on that. So I guess I'm really happy to have him as a foundation. A lot of people don't have that. So I'm really grateful to have him as like basically a guidance. As a
having a mentor and someone that is family too.
Yeah.
Like they don't have ulterior motives.
Absolutely, yeah,
huge.
And he is, of course, because he's my dad. He has no reason to lie to me. To tell me what I need to hear. He would say it absolutely straight up, and I would listen. I'd take no offense to what he says. If it says it sucks, it sucks. You know what I mean? If it's good, it's good.
Especially since too, he's got the background too.
Yeah.
He's done it, man.
He's done it. He's been doing it. He's continuing to do it, so he knows, right? And he said he's proud of me as well for like picking up the slack. But yeah, like I said, he's of course he has no intentions to. He doesn't see me as competition in any way. I'm nowhere near him, of course.
Your
right?
dad just trying to smoke you one day.
Yeah, I'm
hot sauce wars.
Yeah. Oh man, how crazy would that be? Yeah. I think I'd win though.
There we go. I love that.
Yeah, confidence. I think I'd win. I won't lie. But yeah, of course he has no ulterior motive. So he he has all pure intentions when he's giving me advice. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I find a lot of people want to build generational wealth, but when we come from generational wealth and we use it, it's considered a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like we always, of course, we want to have money for our kids, our grandkids. But when us as the kids use it, sometimes it's frowned upon. People say, "Oh, you're coming from a privileged background," and yes, that's true. But that's the reason why we do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's people that did grow up like you that aren't doing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
That aren't using it for positive. They're,
Yeah, absolutely. They take it for advantage.
Exactly. Yeah. You never should be. You should never be ashamed of where you're from.
Absolutely
bro.
not.
I thought about that too, where it's like, yeah, my parents did put me in a good position, but let's keep going, bro. That's how we repay them.
Absolutely, like retire them. Good.
Yes, keep going.
You would see that the amount of situations, time and time again, especially in Brampton, a lot of these immigrant families that come to Canada, they start from nothing, build a great foundation for their families and for their kids, and the kids will just turn around and go to the streets.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's so disrespectful to the family. They work so hard for you to come here to this country, and you turn around and you resort to violence and drug abuse and alcoholism.
I agree, bro.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I said it's good to be in those places where you're very uncomfortable. Like, you remember, okay, I got a lot of ways to go, man.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just be fucking up like that.
I also feel like if you're always in the same circle constantly, you're always gonna have the same mentalities. You're not gonna grow.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I had a very similar mentality. Like when I grew up in Canada, when I moved to Florida, again, an entirely different culture altogether. So entire change of pace, different set of different mindset. So people would stay in the same friend group, even. You know what I mean? Or the same city, the same culture, doing the same things over and over again. You're never really gonna grow mentally.
You're right, bro. It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. And it's dangerous, too, because you might not even know that's what you're doing.
Absolutely. It's so subconscious, right? And you said it before, like when you actually step out of that zone and you go somewhere else, you have the same mentality. That mentality won't work in that situation.
Yeah.
So you'll get a lot of, headbutts, you know what I mean? People butting heads and...
100%, bro. You ever watched the podcast No Jumper?
I haven't watched it, but of course I know,
You know
about it.
about it.
Of course.
So the guy that started that shit, Adam, huge influence on me.
Yeah.
But in the last year or two, he's pretty much taken the brand to a whole new level where
Yeah.
he has all these new personalities on screen.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are guys from the hood and
Yes.
but they're very personable people and funny people. And
Mhm.
they say a lot. They're like, "Bro, all I knew was like my hood."
Yeah.
And coming to know Jumper, being around different people, having a different fan base.
Absolutely.
My eyes are wide open, you know,
Absolutely.
and you see the growth in them.
Yeah, I love Adam. Like
Shout out Adam.
Yeah, thinking about it now, I love his interviews, and it reminded me of something. When I was working in Orlando, I worked at Armani at the clothing store, and I had my manager. He said that he had friends. He's a little bit older guy. He's almost 40 now, but he said like he has friends who grew up in the hood who has never left South Orlando.
Yeah.
They have always stayed that they don't even have passports. So all they know was that area. They never went to Miami or nothing. And that's so crazy to me because I always grew up like going to New York to see my family, going to Florida, you know, going to Guyana 1-2 times. So like to think that someone doesn't even have a passport, like that's crazy. You know what I mean? But people live like that. They don't.
For sure,
they
bro.
never leave their area. They only know the 1-2 streets.
Yeah, no,
Right?
it's real, bro. And for people, a lot of people, you know, you don't have the privilege to do that as a kid, but
Yeah.
if as an adult you get the chance to go to different places, take that chance, bro. Like,
Absolutely.
take it, bro. Even if it's somewhere where you weren't even trying to go.
Yeah,
Go.
absolutely. And it puts it into perspective of myself again, like to see how privileged I am to even have something as simple as owning a passport or
Yeah.
having the opportunity to go to visit a different country. Like, again, a lot of people don't do that. But in America, I find people vacation within America, which I think is amazing.
I love the state's
Yeah.
geography, man.
Amazing,
I'm
dude.
jealous.
Absolutely jealous, dude.
Every single type of weather they have,
Yeah.
every climate.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
It's insane. They have deserts, they have the tropics, they have the cold. Like, they have everything,
bro.
dude.
I love that about the States,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, in Canada, when people say I'm going on vacation, you never think they're going on vacation in Canada,
Very
right?
rarely.
When people say, oh, I'm going on vacation, where you going? Miami, LA, New York, Colorado, to
Vegas.
skiing, Vegas. Like, you know, they go within the country, and I love it.
Yes.
You're spending your hard-earned money within the country that you're from.
Love that, bro. I actually really want to go on a nice U.S. road trip.
Yeah, man.
Driving through the desert.
Absolutely, dude. Like whenever I go to Florida, I drive down. I don't see too much because you're just driving through the states, but you see like it's crazy. You see like every state you go to a gas station, you see the different language, like the slang that they use,
Different.
and like the more southern you go, it just changes, dude.
Yep.
It's crazy, man.
It's so cool, bro.
Yeah.
The traveling, just seeing what's out there is
Yeah.
the fun is the most fun part.
Have you ever felt like, okay, you're going to a place and let's say you're going to a gas station and you stop off and like you're just sitting there, the guy's like checking you out, like the gas, like the people at the gas station, and you think to yourself like, this is their actual lives, like they actually live here, but I'm just stopping by.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
bro. Absolutely, man. I was in Italy once, and
Yeah.
I was by myself, and I was going back to, like, I was in a city going back to the next city to leave, basically, and I had to stop at some random ass stop, and I swear to God, bro, it looked like Texas. Like,
Yeah.
if you didn't know where the fuck you were, you would not guess Italy, and they had a hot dog stand in fucking Italy, bro.
Is that a
and-
thing there?
Apparently, and there was some guy there that's clearly from there that was trying
Yeah.
to talk to me. I have no idea what he was saying, and I'm just like, this is life, bro.
That is life
This
for them.
Life.
It's crazy. Like we see a lot of European influence or different influences in North America, but we don't know the influence that we have in different countries.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like a lot of like I was looking at, of course, Hong Kong was like I believe they were colonized by the British, so they're very actually European based. You know what I mean? When I was in Shanghai, it's really cool. Right in the middle of the city, they have a river that runs through it, and on one side of the river, they have the big, massive like skyscrapers.
okay.
So of course, like the financial district of Shanghai, and the other side of the river, they have the colonial like buildings where the British invaded, and they put all these like coliseums, and all these like big like old cathedrals. So on one side you have the old Shanghai, and across the river you have the new Shanghai. It's
Okay.
it's so dope to see the two different sides of Shanghai, just across the
Just
river.
right there.
Yeah, so it
That's
shows
so
the
cool,
influence
bro.
that all cities have. You know, I think I've always mentioned that culture is meant to be shared. I don't think it's meant to be kept with
True.
a certain set of people.
It's true, bro. I love that there's different cultures in Toronto.
Yeah, man.
Like even when I go further up north,
Yeah.
it's like fuck. it's like a little too,
yeah.
for me at least, like a little too
Canadian.
one way.
Yeah.
Shout out to that, but it's not for me. I much prefer like
the diversity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly feel like in the small like things that we say that we don't know, like the certain words, it has certain origins that we don't know of, right? But we're just so used to it. You know, it's just part of our culture. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's meant to be shared. I grew up with a big Punjabi and Indian community. Like all my friends are of Indian descent, and like I share that culture with them. You know, and growing up in Brampton is really big like that. So, like I don't think anything of it actually. It's just
natural.
Yeah, just what I am. You know, and the same thing applies if I was living in Markham, where it's a big East Asian community, or Woodbridge, where it's an Italian community.
Yeah.
You know, you're from. You know, you are where you're from.
Exactly, bro. I love that. Is there a spot where you could pick to take Sandy's on like a little food tour? Like,
shit, that's a good one, man. That's actually a really good one. I feel like, again, because it's Caribbean based, I do feel like it hasn't went through the Caribbean communities yet. When it comes to like Caribbean cuisine, there's actually not a specific spot in the GTA. I think like Scarborough is a big community, even Toronto itself. But like, yeah, I would say that community first. I also found a lot of Sri Lankan people love my hot sauce. Like they have a similar palate when it comes to their spiciness. So of course Scarborough and Markham, they have a very big community. I think those places would do really well. Like the hot sauce would do well. But honestly, like I want it to be universal. I think to a certain extent it is. It's a very general taste. I think the possibilities are endless, man. But I would say that the Caribbean community, I haven't tapped into it as much as yet. So
getting there, bro. I see big things coming. I see a tour coming.
Absolutely, man. I don't know, a lot of Jamaican people love Scotch bonnet. Like when they cook, they have to put like the Scotch bonnet pepper in it. Man, they love it, and that's because it's made from it. Like they have. They really
you got
do like
something,
it.
Bro. You got something. Keep pushing, man.
We'll see, man.
Hell yeah.
I've been through like a lot of rebranding like since I first started, so. You know, who's to say this might be the finished product itself, you know?
Yeah, exactly, bro. This could be the prototype still.
It's literally, honestly could be the product. I'm still in the infant stage of everything.
And I don't know if you guys could see, you got the 4 peppers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That means hot as fuck.
That means hot as fuck. This one has 3, so it's not as hot, but it's, I don't know if you're eating the wings, it's up there.
It's hot, bro. Yeah. It's nice, though.
It's up there.
It's a nice heat.
Absolutely. It's like a perfect little, aftertaste.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at me singing my own song, man.
You gotta be your biggest marketer, man. You gotta be your biggest supporter. I am
my biggest fan. I won't lie.
You have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be. Rep your shit.
Absolutely. You know? If I don't, who will?
Biggest facts.
You know what I mean? If I don't do it, like I'm sure you're the biggest fan of your own show. You know?
Bro, there's shot in the dark. You ever heard of this rapper named Wretch?
Nah.
From New York, wild guy.
Is low-key rapper?
Yeah, and but he's very much just like wild. Like he doesn't give a fuck. And there was this video he posted one time where it's like, who the fuck else is gonna post my shit other than me? Like he's just going in, and I'm like, you're 100% right, bro. If I piss people off for posting my shit, that's your problem.
Yeah,
like,
that's on you. Like you are your biggest supporter. You know, you're your biggest critic. You're your biggest hater. You're your biggest everything. You know what I mean?
Can't be shy with that shit,
Nah,
bro.
Man. You gotta. I feel like you have to own it. You know.
Own it, push it, man.
Absolutely. Who would you say your favorite Canadian rapper is?
Probably Casper.
Casper, eh?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his. I love Smiley too. He's doing his thing.
I wouldn't think you would say that, to be honest. I think Casper's a little bit more of still in the underground rapper stages.
Yeah, I've been a fan of his for a long time. Shout out my boy Bellum. He's been a fan of these rappers before I've ever heard of them.
He put you on,
He put me on.
Yeah.
He put me on early. How about you?
Honestly, I don't know if I'm sure you know Belly.
Yeah, shout out Belly.
I think Belly is the best Canadian rapper.
I fuck with him too because he's super low key.
Very low key, but the thing is, he's been in the rap industry for almost 15 years.
I remember him on Much Music, man.
Yeah.
Videos playing.
He did a song I think in 2003 with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
With Hot Girl. I think it was called.
Belly's been around forever.
Yeah.
From Ottawa too.
From Ottawa, yeah. I was thinking about him. He doesn't rep Ottawa as much, but regardless, like he's amazing. He's got bars. Like that's one thing. I don't know if you ever seen his LA Leakers freestyle. Man, like if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It actually is probably like one of the most viewed LA Leakers freestyle of all they have.
Sick.
It's just fire, dude. Like bars
I
after
love
bar.
that you chose Belly, bro. Because like he's not talked about enough.
No, he's not. And
he was doing his thing.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of The Weeknd. I love like I've always loved The Weeknd since I was like in high school. So he's signed to EXO. So that just
bro, Belly is a factor that people don't know about.
Yeah, he is a force not to be reckoned with. I honestly I feel like when it comes to bars, like bar to bar, I feel like he can out rap majority of these rappers like these.
Is that what you look for in a rapper? Bars first.
A little bit, bro. Like I like bars. I like the beat. So I'll just tell you right now. So a lot of rappers I listen to is of course Drake. You know that has to be said.
That's a given.
That's a given. That's a given. I like Dave East. You know Dave East, the New York rapper.
New York, yeah.
Logic. He retired, but I like Logic. Jordan Lucas. Again, it's mainstream. Like J. Cole is good. Even who should I say? I don't know if you know Action Bronson, bro.
My guy. I love Action Bronson.
Okay, if you're talking about underrated, that guy's underrated.
Action Bronson is a huge part of my life, bro. Like his music and his personality.
Absolutely,
his food show.
Fuck, that's delicious.
That's honestly, bro. You can say that's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, man.
Ever.
And he's a great personality, man.
Huge fan of his, bro. He's definitely. Man, I remember in high school listening to Action Bronson. I'm like, wow, this guy's doing his thing, being himself. Like he's an inspiration.
Absolutely, and he lost a shit ton of weight too. I don't know if you've seen that.
Beast, bro.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. If you want to get into it, and personally speaking, I think the best rapper of all time, I would have to say Nas. I think Nas is the greatest rapper. Like I feel like when he dropped Illmatic, he was so high up, he couldn't do any better than that.
Yeah.
And he dropped an album when I think it was 18 or 19, so he was a kid. So imagine that, like you drop.
Super young. And
that's the thing, a lot of people, when they've released their first studio album, they slowly go up, but it's very rare that these rappers do so well. It's actually a downhill, a decline in their industry, in their career, sorry.
He's, I'm very interested in his recent shit because he made a ton of money in business, bro. Yeah. And music-wise, you can tell he's just like, I'm making whatever I want to make.
Absolutely.
He's not trying to make a radio single.
No.
He's like, yo, I'm established in this shit. I'm making what I want to make.
And when it came to the whole Tupac's, all that beef, Biggie beef, he was in the midst of all that, right? He was in the midst of all that, but a lot of people don't talk about it because he was just behind the scenes, but he was up there. And, of course, he's from Queens. Like, he was actually he was a gangster.
Yeah,
he was like living that life.
For real.
He was, but I like to see that he progressed. Like of course, he got the money. He's actually more family oriented.
He's a good example.
Very good example of making out the hood.
Yeah.
I think he's actually up there when it comes to like Jay-Z. Of course, not money wise, but career wise, I think he did really well for himself.
He's done well, bro. I've always been a fan of people where you don't really know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
If I take this shit further, I never have seen myself as someone who's in the public eye. I never wanted that. Like, I want to be able to have my own life and my product speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
And I feel like Nas a good example of that.
Absolutely. I saw this one interview when Snoop Dogg was talking about when Tupac actually tried to run up on Nas because of the whole Biggie beef.
Yeah.
And Snoop Dogg basically said like if Nas reacted at that moment, he would have shot up the whole place.
They were in New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, you can't beef with someone in their own hometown. You got to be on your home turf.
Yeah, but even then, I feel like Nas is so culturally, like he's such a big influence when it comes to like that. I feel like the epitome of '90s New York street rap is Nas.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe Biggie, but I would even Big Pun. I'm a big fan of Big Pun.
Legend.
Yeah, when it comes to like the flow of a rapper, I think Big Pun is the best. Right, but unfortunately, I don't know if you know this, but when he died, he was about 500 pounds.
He was huge, bro.
Massive.
And he was a wild guy too. You hear stories about him.
Absolutely, he was actually
guns.
Yeah, he was actually the first Puerto Rican rapper to get nominated for a Grammy ever. So he's actually like he broke some records.
He was a big deal, bro. He was a massive really big deal.
Yeah, and like he's from the Bronx. He always repped the Bronx. Like again, his flow is unmatched. Right.
You're a flow guy.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, again, he like dropped one album and he died.
Yeah, a lot, bro. Rap is dangerous, bro.
Yeah.
Rap is. Whenever I have rappers in here, I ask them that question.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you feel like it's dangerous?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, like most of the rappers on your show, like they live that lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure, bro. It is dangerous, bro. To not think that way is being ignorant. Like, you have to understand what you're in.
Any day could be your last.
Exactly. Even Action Bronson, who's not a street rapper, he's dealt with shit. Like,
Absolutely.
If you're in this scene like that,
absolutely,
like, some shit's gonna happen.
Yeah, and touching base in with Nas, like with his first album being the best. Like, I don't know if you agree with me, but you know Killy, like the Toronto rapper or the Canadian rapper, when he dropped like Surrender Your Soul, when it first came out like 2018, it was like #1. Like it was actually like breaking like chart records. So he was actually the next big thing, and then his next album wasn't as good because like Surrender Your Soul, the album was so good. It was just a decline.
Sets a tough precedent to beat.
And his type of music was more of like he described it as his words for it was emo rap. So it was like kind of like that dark noir rapping, and it does actually portray that. And a lot of people are actually writing with it now. Like a lot of these guys, like Lil Peep when they died and stuff. Like, yep, Lil Peep, even Juice WRLD.
Love Lil Peep.
Yeah, those guys, they actually like they have that type of genre, but Keely was doing it really well. And I don't know if you ever heard that, listen to the album, but it's a great album.
He had some hits on there too.
A lot of big hits. Up. Yeah, like Kilimanjaro, No Sad, No Bad Days in LA. Like, but like now again, like he just did so well. His music career actually declined.
It's true, bro, and that's why you never take shit for granted, man.
Yeah.
You never know, man.
Absolutely.
Being on a small scale is a blessing too, because you get a chance to really experiment. If you blew up quick, people's eyes are on you.
Absolutely.
Pressure is even higher.
100%. Like when I first started my product, if I blew up the way that I did, I would have a completely different label, completely different product. I'm glad I threw it into the market, tested the waters, see what was working, changed, and yeah, like I said, I'm still at that scale now where I could change, but I do also at the same time want to set a foundation, a solid, I do say when it comes to the logo, I think the logo is gonna stay. I think it encompasses the vision of the brand itself. But like, who knows, man? Like when it comes to label, color, and stuff like that, makes a big difference.
It makes a big difference, bro. But the work you put in is the majority of it. Absolutely. I've seen Gary. Are you a fan of Gary Vee?
I love him.
I fuck with him too. And there was a kid that said. He was asking him, like, you help yourself.
Bro. No, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Appreciate it.
There was a kid that asked him, like, oh, like, should I make the name, like, more this way? Should I make the way? He's like, it doesn't fucking matter. You got to, like, start your shit first, put the work in, make your connections, sell some shit, and then worry about the next step. Like, you can't halt your fucking whole business over the logo. Like, let's go. This is my original logo, bro. And
Young
then
Vince.
I changed it to this one. Because I'd already started for a few years and I'm like, okay, it's time for a change. But like, I'm not gonna wait for the logo to start the shit.
Absolutely.
Like, fuck that.
So let me ask you this: what's behind the name Versatile Vigilante?
Versatile is just so. First of all, I always like the V's, like my name, Vinny, works. But versatile was just something that I've always found very important trait, like being able to talk to different types of people, different subjects, do different things. So that was a big thing for me. And then Vigilante, I'm a big Max B fan. And he used to refer to himself as a vigilante, and he had like an album called Vigilante Season. So it was like a tribute to him.
He's still in jail, right?
Yeah.
You think he's gonna come out soon?
I do, just because they've said he is, but I don't know. And I'm trying to be hopeful. You know? I hope so, bro. Free my guy. But that's where that came from. And even sometimes I'm like, man, I picked like too long of a name, this and that. But I'm like, fuck it, let's go. Like if I don't get to where I am because of my name, fuck it then.
Absolutely, yeah. You know? You can't change it now. Like
bro. And
I feel like it's set in stone.
What you said earlier, where it's like, you got to be your biggest rider. Like, fuck that. I fuck with my name. Let's keep pushing.
I feel like it's very it's different, and it's like it's you. I mean, it's very much you.
And the hope, and I like that you chose Sandy as the name, not your name. Similar to mine, is one day other people are involved with it. You know, it doesn't have to be like
absolutely
my name on their shit.
Absolutely,
be more of a brand.
I agree, and like I said, Sandy, of course, it's in regards to my mom, but Sandy is again.
It's close, but it's not just you.
Yeah, not just me. It could be anything. You know what I mean? Like it's again like Frank's.
Exactly.
Who the hell is Frank?
Who's Frank, man?
Frank is probably somebody, but the whole company is a large company itself. But it's crazy you said that you're a Max B fan. I don't think a lot of people say that. Like
it's my guy.
Yeah, I can't even say I listen to him. Like I know of him, of course.
Max B, Action Bronson, guys like that, even like Riff Raff.
Yeah, really,
Those are the people I fuck, because they were always kind of out of the main.
Outgoing, They're
a little different.
Yeah.
And that's how I always related to.
So what do you think Tekashi 6ix9ine then?
Man, that's a great question. When he was first out, I liked what he was doing because he was just weird, you know.
Yeah.
But when he started getting too deep with the gang shit, I'm like, this guy's fucked.
Yeah.
But very interesting character, bro, because he
Absolutely.
was legitimately huge.
Yeah, he was
huge.
No one can deny his success.
At that time, bro, it wasn't a long time, but he was there. The biggest rapper.
Absolutely. And, like, to say that again, wasn't a fan, but some of his stuff was hype, dude. It was sick. It was lit. Like, the amount of songs he's producing with big artists like Nicki Minaj and stuff, too, like, it was big.
He had a movement, but he fell off.
One thing I question to this day, man, like, he literally dissed every single gangster rapper you can name, but he's still alive. And it made me honestly question, like, yo, is he that big of a gangster, or are these guys not as big of a gangster as they claim to be?
This guy?
Yeah.
This guy, the Brooklyn guys?
Yeah.
I asked them about it on the podcast, and they're like, bro, he was hanging with people that we knew forever. Like, he's not from that. Like, we knew it wasn't what it was, but, like, I don't know what happened.
But think about it, dude. He dissed the game. LA rap, Crease of Blood, Chief Keef, YG. Who else he dissed? He dissed everybody else in the world. Jeez, what's this guy's name? I forgot. All these like gangster rappers, he dissed every single one of them, but he's still alive. You would I honestly thought when he dissed Chief Keef, I'm like, that's it. He's done. R.I.P. Right?
Chief Keef, bro, is that type of guy, though. I feel like he just wants to be left alone.
Yeah, he is now.
I don't think he gives a fuck. If it was 10 years ago, he
would have.
Story.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like he's established. He has his money. I don't think he lives that lifestyle anymore, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I love Chief Keef, too. He's another guy.
But these LA rappers, like The Game, who's been in this as a blood for years, he said, if you ever see you in LA, it's done.
It was disappointing, that whole shit, because he could have been something, and he chose to not.
Yeah.
He really just... I even thought, you could have the gangsters behind you, but why do you have to be talking that shit?
Absolutely.
I think, it's good to have protection behind you, this and that, but you were talking way too much shit,
Way too much. And you make enemies in the industry.
Yeah, he's... Now I don't know what he even is, like...
It's funny enough, man, I mentioned it myself, but a couple weeks ago, I was bored. I just searched up his name on Instagram just to see what he's doing. He hasn't posted since 2021, mid-2021.
He's still probably making bread off his old shit, but he's not what he was.
No, man, and that's just the way it is.
It's the way it is.
Yeah, but you're right. Like, if he talks so much shit, he made so much enemies.
I don't like that strategy. I don't like the controversial shit.
No.
I never was a fan of that, bro.
No.
Action's a guy that's super just cool. You know? That's what I like.
Yeah. Have you ever heard about Hobson?
Yeah.
So Hobson, he's a great rapper, but he was notorious for dissing everybody.
Yeah.
I remember a music video, he dissed Kendrick Lamar. At the end of you're dissing Kendrick, really, bro? Out of all rappers, right?
What's that series he had? The songs.
Yes. Inside the Mind of Hobson. No, I know what you're talking about. It's different.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
There was one of them when he was dissing the future sound. He made a song, but all the comments were like, "Bro, this is the best song you ever made."
Yeah, I remember the music, but he had the foam cups, 10 of them.
Exactly, but it's okay.
It's kind of fire.
It's fire.
It was really fire.
Dissing is just not a good thing, bro. Business, podcast, music, there's no point.
There's no point, but that's it's entertainment.
It's quick though. It goes away quick and it gets you quick hits.
Yeah,
it's not for long term.
No, but I don't think the people who do it. I don't think they do it for the hits. They do it for the actual express their emotions, and that's an outlet that they use. Again, look at Nas's diss track to Jay-Z. Ether is considered the greatest diss track of all time.
Yeah,
and it's just fire. He of course he doesn't perform it ever.
Yeah,
because he has a good relationship with him. But to think about it, that was crazy, man.
That was crazy.
That time.
That rap beef. If it's on a song, okay.
Yeah.
But Tekashi was just telling you to SMD
and
shit.
Yeah, he's go kill yourself. He's just doing some crazy stuff.
Make a song, okay. But talking that shit, I don't know.
Nah, man. And then but looking back at with MGK dissing Eminem, I honestly thought that diss track was a really good diss track.
I can't tell you a less interesting feud that
really
I that was Eminem's a legend, but I haven't listened to a new Eminem song in forever.
Yeah,
and then MGK I never
listened to. I'll tell you what, man. Back in the day, he's a rock star now. And it's not working.
So funny.
But before, he was a really good rapper. He has a lot of bars.
When he came out like 2009, 2010, something like that.
Even that 2012 era, like, he was really good, and I do still believe he's a really good rapper. And that diss track, a lot of people diss Eminem, and a lot of people never had the guts to, but I rate him for having the guts to do it. And of course, the song was good. Like, the diss track was really good. Well, of course, like, then Eminem came back and just finished it. You know what I mean?
Shout out MGK. He's got Megan Fox. And he's doing okay.
He's doing better than me, bro. He's living my dream.
He's doing his thing. Well, he'll put some Sandys on his shit one day.
100%, man.
But yo, tell the people, where can you buy this? What do you got going on?
Absolutely. So
the camera.
I got multiple ways to do it. So first and foremost, of course, I'm on Instagram. I have a website you can order through online. You can also DM me on Instagram as well. I'm also at a West Indian store in Brampton called Ravi's West Indian Store. I'm on the shelf there. Okay. So if you're ever in Brampton, it's Chin Cuisine Beauvais. Definitely recommend reaching out. They have a bunch of my products there. They also have my dad's products as well at the grocery store. So if you want to get his brand is called Prestige. If everyone want any Prestige products, they're also there as well. So multiple ways. Whatever it may be, whether you're in Canada or in the U.S. or anywhere across the world, I can ship to you. I had a few customers in Kentucky, in Edmonton, in BC.
Sick.
Yeah, so in Florida, of course. So I've reached out to a lot of people, So anywhere, you name it where you are, I'll get it to you.
Sandy's hot sauce, man.
Yeah.
Up and coming. Let's get it. Let's do a quick dab before
hot
sauce honor.
All right. I don't know. This one's pretty high as it is, but fuck it.
Quick one.
Yeah, a little quick one for the road.
We got to do it for Sean Evans, man.
Yeah.
Sean Evans, I'm coming for you, bro.
All right.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, buddy.
Sandy's hot sauce. We're out here.
Get a little bit of dip going.
Versatile Vigilante, Sandy's hot sauce. We're out here. Like and subscribe and
Appreciate
buy.
It. Yes, sir. That's it?
Fire,
That was fire, bro.